Hello agriculture enthusiasts. Today we will explore some incredible moments in agriculture together. Get ready to witness stunning scenes from the harvest season, where the fruits of labour are gathered. Around June or July, when raspberries turn sweet and red, it's the perfect time for harvest. A raspberry harvester moves along each row of raspberry bushes. On both sides of the machine, there are sets of plastic rods that shake the bushes, knocking the ripe berries off the plants. As the berries fall, they land on a conveyor belt. Here, farmers sort them, removing any leaves and unripe fruit. The berries are placed into flat trays instead of buckets to prevent bruising. The green fruits are still on the tree. 2 days later, the harvesters return through the rows of vines. The machinery shakes plastic rods to dislodge the raisins. These then fall and are collected into the harvester's conveyor belt. The shaking process also minimizes damage to the vines. The harvesting machines are equipped with essential cleaning features. During the process, leaves and green shoots are separated from the conveyor system. Finally, the high-quality raisins are transferred into truck containers. The sweet corn harvest in California runs from June to October, during the milk stage of the kernels. Corn from this state is highly valued for its freshness and flavor. The harvester's cutting head is adjusted to the optimal height and position to match the crop's height and row spacing. The machine then cuts the corn stalks while its rollers feed them into the harvester. The advent of these machines has been a game changer, significantly reducing the need for manual labor and shortening the time required to clean the fields. In 2023, the United States harvested approximately 340,000 acres of sweet corn. After planting, cabbages take around 75 to 90 days to be ready for harvest. On large farms, farmers use cabbage harvesters to supply the fresh produce market. As the machines move through the cabbage rows, a special blade trims the leaves and roots of the cabbages. After cutting, the cabbages are transferred onto the conveyor belt. During this process, excess leaves fall back onto the field. Workers stationed on the machine inspect and remove substandard cabbages on the spot. A mechanical harvester can replace an entire manual workforce, harvesting dozens of acres per day. This method also helps to minimize the risk of damage to the cabbage. Cotton harvesters are designed to process multiple rolls of cotton simultaneously, often up to 6 rows. This significantly speeds up the harvesting process. The machine's front unit handles all the work. As it moves across the field, rotating metal spindles wrap around the cotton fibers, pulling them from the plants. The cotton is then transferred onto a large onboard container, reducing the need for frequent stops to unload. Modern cotton pickers come equipped with an onboard module system. As the cotton is harvested, it is compressed into large bales, ready to be transported to processing facilities. Now we are at a wheat field in western New York. Tractors and balers work together to collect straw where bales are neatly stacked on the field. Then they are bundled into larger units using automatic bale collectors. Here's a carrot harvest taking place in California. The harvester begins the process by moving along the rows of carrots. It uses blades to cut the roots of the carrot plants. Immediately after, the carrots are pulled from the soil and transferred into an adjacent truck. The harvester ensures the carrots are harvested correctly without damage, improving product quality and maximizing farmers' profits. It also reduces labor and saves time when compared to manual harvesting. China produces around 31 billion pounds of peanuts annually. Typically, after 120 days, peanuts are harvested when the leaves turn yellow, signaling that the pods have fully developed. Harvesters use underground blades to uproot the entire peanut plant. At the same time, the harvester incorporates a shaking mechanism to remove soil clinging to the peanuts. Once uprooted, the plants are inverted and laid on the rows to dry under the sun. It usually takes 2 to 4 days for the peanuts to reach optimal dryness. At this point, a peanut picker moves through the field, gathering the dried plants onto a conveyor system. A rotating mechanism separates the peanuts from the vines and leaves. Finally, a screening system sorts the peanuts by size. Now let's head to Iran, one of the world's leading producers of pistachios. The peak harvesting season typically occurs in September and October. Harvesting machines grip the tree trunk and shake it, causing the pistachios to fall. Operators can adjust the shaking intensity to avoid damaging the trees. The fallen pistachios are caught by automatic collection trays placed around the base of the tree. This minimizes ground contact and keeps the nuts clean. Mechanical harvesters often feature built-in systems to separate leaves and twigs from the nuts. The pistachios are then transferred onto a conveyor belt for preliminary sorting directly in the field. Massive machines move across large coffee plantations in a short amount of time, ensuring the coffee is harvested properly. The Brazil coffee industry. The country is expected to produce 66.3 million bags of coffee for the 2023-2024 season, accounting for nearly 40% of the global supply. Did you know that the world produces around 105 billion pounds of onions annually? On average, a person consumes nearly 14 pounds of onion per year. India is the largest onion producer, with an annual output of 58,000 pounds. Indian onions are famous for their distinctive spiciness and year-round availability. Onion harvesters are equipped with a square-shaped rotating shaft that moves counter to the harvester's direction. It operates below ground, loosening the onions from the soil and preparing them for collection. As the rollers lift the onions onto the harvester, they are placed onto a conveyor belt with small holes to remove excess soil and onion leaves. The onions are then transferred into a container attached to the harvester. This process ensures a large harvest yield with minimal damage. Now let's visit the pineapple fields. Around 85% of the world's pineapples come from Asia, with China, Indonesia and the Philippines being the top producers. During harvest time, farmers typically begin early in the morning to avoid the midday heat, ensuring the pineapples retain their freshness. As the truck moves slowly along the pineapple rows, farmers follow alongside, placing freshly packed pineapples onto the vehicle's conveyor belt. The fruits are carefully stacked into crates for transport to packing facilities. This method saves time and effort, reducing the need for manually carrying large quantities of pineapples from the field. Now it's time to savor the delightful taste of citrus fruits. The citrus harvest season in Texas typically takes place from November to January each year. The best time to harvest is in the early morning or late afternoon when the weather is cooler, reducing stress on the trees. Farmers use harvesting baskets and ladders to pick fruit from tall citrus trees without the need to climb them. Before picking, farmers inspect the fruit to ensure that it's ripe. Ripe citrus fruits have a taut, glossy skin and a distinctive aroma, most of which were consumed domestically. Instead of using machinery, farmers often harvest peaches by hand. This manual process requires careful handling to prevent damage to the fruit. Farmers use ladders to reach peaches at the tops of the trees, ensuring the fruit is picked before birds or small mammals get to them. The avocado harvest in Mexico is at its peak. Located in the heart of Mexico's volcanic belt, these avocado trees thrive and produce high yields. Harvesters use poles to pick avocados directly from the trees. During the process, farmers are careful to avoid bruising the fruit. Quality control is maintained throughout the avocado's growth and harvesting stages. If an avocado falls to the ground, it is not eligible